I'm the guy that's, when I'm on vacation, I'm sneaking through bushes into a sauna that's closed to kick it on and use it, because I know I'm in St. Lucia Island and I know I'm going to have a better day when I go out and do my excursion on the water and all that type of stuff if I get a good sweat in beforehand. Welcome to the Sweat Fanatic Podcast, where we talk all things sweating, saunas, hot yoga, red light therapy, sensory deprivation tanks, cold plunges, anything to make our mind and our body feel better, fitness, anything. So I got my friend Nick Psicihulis here, who is a sauna fanatic and enthusiast, and we're going to talk some saunas. So Nick, how did you get involved with saunas, and when did you first use one?
So I actually got involved, I would say probably a little bit over a year ago now. I always lived a healthy lifestyle, so played sports growing up, high school, college, and then always kind of knew about saunas and was, I wouldn't say necessarily around them, but like I said, they were in the back of my mind. I would hear about them. Knew they were good for you, kind of thought it was more something where you had to be a little bit, I don't know, had a couple screws loose if you liked going in the sauna that much and sweating that high heat. Yeah. I never really got that side of things. So then I actually met the owner of the company working at my previous job.
What company?
Good Health Saunas.
Okay.
So I met the owner, or one of the owners, and was kind of explaining to him, feet, back hurting. I was working at a bar late nights, early mornings. My sleep schedule is pretty non-existent.
Not healthy.
Not healthy lifestyle overall.
Just because of sleep. I'm a firefighter paramedic, and when you don't get good sleep, it just affects everything about you. It's your mood, your health, your weight, all that type of stuff. That's why I say that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that was one of the biggest things that I noticed the first time I used one. I slept like a baby that night. And it wasn't that, with an infrared sauna specifically, it wasn't that kind of dehydrating, exhausting feeling. I got out, I felt more alert, more awake. And I remember the first time I used one, it was here at Good Health Saunas, and I got out and you asked me, you were like, how do you feel? And I was like, it took me a second because obviously I'm sweating buckets, trying to get my breath. But then I realized, like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me when we got our sauna installed at the firehouse 10 years ago. I used it. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. My shift ends at 8 a.m. And I used it from 7 a.m. to, I don't know, 7:45 or something. And I get done, shower, shift change, and my shift is over. And I leave, and I'm running errands, and I go to a Walgreens, and I'm shopping at a Walgreens. And I distinctly remember having a conversation with the manager of a Walgreens. And I was so happy. Like, I was like having the time of my life. It felt like it took a drug or something like that. And even had to think about it. I go, what did I take this morning? Did I do something? And then it dawned on me. I used this infrared sauna in the morning at a firehouse. So then I was like, I was hooked ever since. So ever since I've been using one. So Nick, from what I know about you, you played lacrosse, right?
Yep.
How long did you play lacrosse?
So I played lacrosse for about 7 years, and we're in Wisconsin here. So obviously lacrosse is more of an East Coast game.
I know. I'll admit it. I don't know much about it. It looks like a cool, fun game to play. Like, I think I played it in gym class in high school a couple of times, and it was very fun. I was actually better than most of the students, but that was because they probably didn't care about athletic
and you're pretty athletic, so I wouldn't be surprised. The first time, right? And the first time golfing, I heard you were out there killing it. So we'll have to test that.
I could get it off the ground. That's about it.
That's half the battle. But I mean, yeah, I played lacrosse all the way through high school. I mean, we won 2 state champions.
Holy cow!
So that was
congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, throwback on the yearbook there. But, I mean, it was super fun, obviously.
How many high schools play lacrosse?
And
mine didn't.
And that's the thing. So when I started, there was probably, I would say, I mean, it's definitely a small sport. There was only, I would think, like 32 teams, D1 teams at the time. There were a couple other D2, and then D2 and D3 kind of intermingled because there weren't enough to fill each division. So
you were D1?
Yeah, at Kettle Moraine out in Wisconsin. So we won 2 state championships back to back my junior and senior year.
Were you a starter?
I was.
Oh!
So, yeah, there we go. Big hype on that. Shout out the boys, 2017 grads. But
so then were you recruited?
I was.
Do they even recruit for lacrosse?
And that's the thing. So because the sport's still up and coming out here in the Midwest,
Mm-hmm.
a lot more of the schools out east. I mean, I went and visited like Hofstra. I was looking at Marquette too, but ended up not wanting to play because the game was so brutal on the body.
Yeah.
So by the end of high school, my ankles pretty shot, shoulders pretty shot. So I kind of played club in college, and that was still mostly just to keep me active and stay a little bit competitive.
Yeah. So if you did, first of all, did you use a sauna back then? And second of all, what do you, if you didn't, what do you think the benefits would have been?
So I didn't back then, and I can say for certainty that I wished I would have, because as of right now, I still like to live a healthy lifestyle. I mean, we go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, or we try to. And so the biggest thing that I notice with specifically an infrared sauna, we'll use the steam room or the hot rock at the gym. But with an infrared, my muscles feel like they're getting much more of a recovery aspect.
Yep.
Whether that be, reducing the inflammation, or it might just be aches and pains, getting more oxygenated blood.
Vasodilates the blood vessels, increases blood circulation, gets those white blood cells to the areas and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I love sitting here talking with Eric, because with his paramedic firefighter background, I can say how it makes me feel, but then to actually get the more scientific side and the actual diagnosis of it, if you will.
When I call myself a sweat fanatic, I mean I'm a sweat fanatic. I've been sweating every day of my life for 10 years, nonstop, and I'll do it for the rest of my life. And I've traveled the country using hot yoga studios, going to different saunas at gyms, different infrared saunas at different studios, and it's my favorite thing to do. So very passionate about it. And so I've been passionate about saunas for 10 years, and you've been passionate about saunas for probably about a year, maybe a little bit longer.
Yep. And so, that's one of the awesome things about working for Good Health Saunas is we work with, obviously, like yourself, firefighters, fire stations, but we've done some pretty cool trips.
It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle. Yeah. So didn't pick a job and look at a list and say, oh, what do I want to do? And see an advertisement for, work for a sauna company. No, I start using a sauna and I find out how good I feel, and I become super passionate about it. And now that's what I want to do for a career, which doesn't feel like a career because you love using it so much. You love the product. The company treats you great. And in life, you can't ask much more out of that from an occupation.
Yeah, 100%. You just kind of hit on a key note there, because I was one of those kids growing up where I wanted to be a doctor. You ask the little 5-year-old, what do you want to be? And it's astronaut, doctor, firefighter, cop. And I was always the one that wanted...
Fighter jet pilot.
Right. And so I always wanted to be a doctor. And then growing up, going through school, some of my classmates that are now actual doctors, props to them, but I knew it in high school sitting next to them. That's probably not going to be me. And then being able to work for a company that still, when I put my head down at night, I know we're helping people every day. And just the stories that we hear, that's the most fulfilling part.
Are you at a show where somebody walks up, like it's nonstop at the show? If you were in our booth for a day, you would get 6 to 8 to 10 people that come into the booth, and I love it. I use it all the time. It's one of the best things I've ever purchased, and it's very gratifying to get that. At the Minnesota State Fair, I had a customer come in the booth that purchased a sauna last year, and he wanted to come shake my hand and tell me he had 21 knee surgeries, and the only thing that has ever helped relieve his knee pain is the infrared sauna that he got from Good Health Saunas. So it's moments like that it makes you it's worth doing it.
100%. And you and I talk about it all the time, or right when I started. Obviously, I was a bartender before I did this. So with just the way the world's kind of going, and you and I kind of see it a lot where the healthy lifestyle is kind of becoming a lot more prevalent, whether that be the kind of drinking culture on the decline, or just taking the more holistic approach to health and wellness. What's something, or why do you think that is more so?
Well, people ask me, they'll be like, that are looking at, thinking about getting a sauna for their home or whatever. And they'll be like, is this a fad? And no, the reason why it's not a fad, it's becoming more well known because as time goes on, more research comes out. Every year, more studies come out. There's more health benefits. But the proof is in the pudding. It's not a vitamin that you take that you just do it because that's what people tell us to do. No, when you use it, you get your endorphins released, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. That's our happy hormones. That's responsible for the runner's high. And you literally feel like $1,000,000 every single time you use it, and you know it's healthy for you, and it's very addicting in a good way. That's why it's not something that you're going to use for, for the nostalgic period when you first get it. No, it's something you're going to use for the rest of your life, because once you start living this lifestyle and you start using it, it's something you look forward to, you want to use it, and based off of how it makes you feel, you're going to use it for the rest of your life.
Right. And that's like Luke and I were talking about how it's kind of a compounding effect. Mm-hmm. You do one thing and then you want to do another healthy choice. So
yeah, you feel good from using a sauna. Now I don't want to go eat sugar or junk food or wild berry Skittles or Snickers or potato. Like, I don't want to feel bad again. And those things reduce our happy endorphins. So it increases inflammation in our bodies. So when you're used to having less inflammation in your body, you're used to being more dialed in, the mental clarity, that better focus and attention span from using a sauna and sweating, you get used to feeling like that. And when you don't use a sauna for a while, that starts to slowly go away, and you want to get that back. And that's why you go back in a sauna. I mean, I'm the guy that's, when I'm on vacation, I'm sneaking through bushes into a sauna that's closed to kick it on and use it, because I know I'm in St. Lucia Island, and I know I'm going to have a better day when I go out and do my excursion on the water and all that type of stuff if I get a good sweat in beforehand.
And you said it best when I first started working here. It's when you start your day off making that healthy choice, it's so much easier to do it throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And so you feel so good. You use it the one day. And then, just for example, I mean, I'll wake up on Monday, use the sauna in the morning, have a very productive day, feel more alert. You feel more awake. And I feel like we have a lot of times people that are right on the edge of wanting to take that next step in their health and wellness journey, whether it be infrared sauna or just going to the gym, whatever that may be. What's something, or what's kind of a piece of advice that you would give to those people who are on the fence about it?
Well, it's like a performance enhancing drug. Like years ago, like when I first started using it 10 years ago, it was like a secret weapon. It wasn't as well known, and I had an edge on everybody. I'm like, I'm sweating every day. I'm biohacking my body to make my body feel better, to make my mind feel better, to make me perform at a higher level. And this is something not many people are doing. Nowadays, it's not a secret weapon anymore. It's a well-known weapon that a lot of people use it. Professional athletes, anybody that needs to perform at a high level, they're using it. They're using a sauna. They're using a cold plunge. Mm-hmm. They're making sure they get good quality sleep, eating healthy, staying away from sugar, all that type of stuff that improves our health, wellness, and makes us perform at a higher level mentally. So it's like, you get in there, you use it, go find a sauna locally that you can use it. I would do a little bit of research, because you can find saunas, but you want to find a good sauna, number one, to use, because there's a big difference.
And what are some of those differences, just for?
Well, you want to start out with safety, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't want to be exposed to high electromagnetic fields. That's what they say power puts off. That's not good for us. So cheap companies, even some expensive companies, don't protect you from that. Good Health Saunas does. Also, you want it real wood, and not only, if you don't own it, it's not as big of a deal. But the problem with not using real wood, even if you're just using it for a session, is you're going to be exposed to formaldehyde, chemicals, all that stuff, off gases in the sauna. You don't want to be exposed to that. So I look for full spectrum infrared, 99% emissivity or absorption rate of the infrared. And does it get hot? How many heaters does it have in it? Go try an infrared sauna no matter what. But if if you're not sweating, you're most likely not in a good infrared sauna. A good infrared sauna or a good sauna in general makes you sweat buckets, and the more you sweat, the better you feel. So I encourage everybody to go try them out.
Mm-hmm. And you've been doing it longer than I have. So like kind of on the same topic, but I feel like we see people from anywhere in their early 20s all the way up till the elderly starting retirement into retirement.
Yeah. So like 10 years ago, the people getting into infrared saunas were people that got diagnosed with cancer. They had heart disease. Their health is failing, arthritis, their knees are shot. And we still get a lot of those people that are interested in saunas, but they're being reactive. And yeah, if you're not using a sauna and you need something to help you with, absolutely get a sauna, start using it. It's going to help you. On the back end, what we see more popular now is being proactive, getting in, starting a healthy lifestyle, starting sweating before all this starts happening. So the clientele, we still have an older clientele, and that's been a base for many years. But now we're starting to see a younger base that are being more proactive and want to make sure that they stay healthy now and continue to stay healthy. And it's very encouraging to see.
And I don't know who came up with the saying, but one of the best sayings that I really think hits home with a lot of people is people spend a lot of their time, or they spend their health chasing their wealth, and then at the end they spend their wealth trying to buy back their health. Mm-hmm. And so just to your point, now we're starting to see a switch where when you invest in your health earlier on, then you don't have to try and buy back your health later down the road.
Nick, now that you've been living the sauna lifestyle for the past year, what type of questions does friends, family? I'm sure you get a lot of questions about what do you do for work? What is it? Do they know? Do your friends and family know what an infrared sauna is? Do you have to teach them about it, or do they already know and they want to learn about it?
So yeah, I definitely have a lot of friends and family that know of saunas or they've heard of saunas. But then when I start saying specifically infrared, that's when they start asking questions. And I mean, I still come to you all the time with very detailed, specific questions, more technical sides of things. So just some of the ones, like the more general ones they have are like, do you sweat? But also I think a big kind of buzzword in the industry is red light and how that differs from infrared.
Yeah.
And so I think trying to just explain to people, because it is a buzzword and there is a lot of talk about it right now. But I mean,
they get confused. They think that the red light is the infrared, which it is. It's near infrared, and you definitely get benefits from it and stuff like that. But the main source of benefit is the infrared heaters that is not visible light. You can't see it, but it's there in the form of heat. And that's where the magic happens. I do use red light therapy. I go to tanning salons and use it on a regular basis, and it makes me feel good. And I get benefits from it, but if it's better to use it with the infrared sauna, because now you're sweating buckets, you're detoxifying yourself, you're cleaning out every pore of your body, plus you're getting all the other benefits that come with sweating, the endorphins, the more energy, better sleep. There's just a vast array of health benefits that are with the infrared sauna. Red light therapy is kind of designed specifically for like skin health, collagen production, energy, which you're getting in an infrared sauna and way more as well.
And that's where I think a lot of the times that's the biggest hurdle that you and I have to overcome, is because there is such a kind of misconception with the industry on red light versus infrared. And then you get the EMF levels. That's where then people start to get kind of a little spun out, for lack of a better word. But when you're talking the wavelengths of infrared, the near, the mid, the far, and you really kind of just boil it down to the basics, that's when you can see the infrared saunas. When you're sweating, you're still getting the skin purification, you're still getting the cellular regeneration. So like you said, you're getting the red light benefits.
So let's back up a little bit. So there's infrared. There's 3 different wavelengths. What are those 3 different wavelengths?
So there's near, there's mid, and there's far wavelengths.
Okay, so that's the full spectrum. So years ago, before full spectrum came out, it was only far infrared. And far infrared is the workhorse of the infrared wavelength. And then, say decade ago, full spectrum came out, and that's when found out more about benefits of near infrared, mid infrared, and now it's the full spectrum. So yeah, you can buy a far infrared sauna, you're still going to get sweat, you get benefits. With full spectrum, you're getting all the benefits from our far infrared sauna, but you're also getting additional benefits from near and mid. It's not like you take more far infrared out. You're just adding mid and near to the far to add benefits on top of that. So that's kind of like the brief overview of the different wavelengths of infrared. Tell me the difference in how you feel when you use the sauna at Lifetime Fitness compared to a Good Health sauna.
That's the most glaring difference, is how you feel. You're still sweating. Don't get me wrong.
It's good for you.
Yeah. I'll go in the one at Lifetime, stay in there for 20, 25 minutes. If I'm pushing it, 30 minutes.
That's tough. That's tough. 30 minutes in the traditional hot rock sauna at Lifetime Fitness. That's not easy to do. So
right. And that's pushing it. And like I said, normally it's 20, 25 minutes is max. But that one, I'll come out, my eyes feel dried out. The biggest thing.
Your skin is bright red.
Right. And I'll come out and I'll feel like I was just in a more of a suffocating type heat.
Because it's convection heat. It's baking you like an oven. So you got the hot rocks. The hot rocks have to heat the air around you. The hot air around you has to heat your body up. So you have to get the temperature super hot to make you sweat.
Right. And you feel a difference. And then when I sit in the hybrid or our signature series, it's more of I'm still sweating buckets. I'm getting that deep sweat. I'm noticing my heart rate is increasing slowly and steadily compared to that drastic I'm now having a very, very intense heartbeat.
Yeah, and that's why doctors talk about the infrared sauna with heart patients, because it's a slow increase. It slightly increases your heart rate, and it does it slowly over time. But it's phenomenal for the heart because your resting heart rate becomes lower, becomes safer. Vasodilates the blood vessels and increases blood distribution throughout our body. It gives a great passive cardiovascular workout for people that can't go out and do cardio and run and have that high impact on the knees and the joints. But it definitely conditions your heart to be a more effective pump and helps reduce risk for heart disease, congestive heart failure, heart attack, all those things through heat shock proteins. Versus a hot rock sauna where you go in it and it just kind of shoots your heart rate right through the roof, can increase your blood pressure, which don't take it as I love the hot rock sauna. I'll use it when I can't use my infrared or a good infrared. There's a ton of health benefits that come with it, but all they're saying is that you just want to be careful as a heart patient with those types of saunas. Infrared saunas, very safe. You slowly increase your core temp, slowly increase your heart rate, much safer, and you get more benefits.
And the thing I like is like we were talking about earlier, we have people ranging in age, where some people might not want to have that high heat. They only want it they want to get a light sweat going.
How many times are you at a show where you got a couple walking by and the man or the woman, for this example, we'll say man, the man goes, "Oh, saunas, I love them. God, I love them." And the woman's like, no, I don't like this. It's too much. It's too hot. It's hard to breathe. And then you'll be like, no, this is different. Come check it out. Hey, just go in there for 30 seconds. You won't start sweating right away. And then you go in there and you get them in there. The sauna enthusiast jumps right in there, and the person that's more hesitant kind of stays back, but then they walk in there, they sit in there, you shut the door, and a minute later you open the door and they're like, "Oh honey, I could do this. This is not what I imagined. This thing's totally different." And that's because it's not the high convection heat, but you're sweating buckets. Like you're absolutely sweating, and it's more comfortable, it's more relaxing, doesn't make you feel claustrophobic. Essentially what it is it's radiant heat. 80% of the heat is heating your body up directly. Only 20% is in the air around you. Makes it more comfortable, more relaxing. And the heat goes deeper into your body, so you get a better detox. I like to say it 100. You go in an infrared at 140 degrees, you sweat like it's 180, 190, but it feels like 100, 110. There's no moisture, so it's a lot easier to breathe.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. You touched on the muscles. Obviously, like I said, we were trying to go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week. When I use an infrared, it makes it so much easier to wake up that next day and go, because my muscles feel like they already have that recovery. And it's maybe that's I'm sweating out the lactic acid, and there's a question mark at the end of that. So, I mean, I know there's some benefit to it. I'm more curious on why the muscles feel a lot better after an infrared sauna sesh.
Well, it's reducing our inflammation biomarkers. So it's reducing our inflammation, which is going to help with, but the heat helps with pain relief. It's also stimulating our natural pain relieving hormones and endorphins. And when you do vasodilate the blood vessels and get blood distribution, it's going to relax it as well. A lot of people buy these and use these for muscle pain, joint pain, arthritis. How many times do you have somebody put their back that has back pain, and what do you hear? My back pain is gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's again the euphoric part of the job, where, like you said, you have the husband who's sauna fanatic, jumps in there right away, hasn't used an infrared, but then you have him sit up against the heater a couple minutes and he feels it almost instantaneous.
Yep, and you get it the other way too, where at the show you'll have a woman come in the booth and she'll be like, "Oh, I love infrared. I want to have an infrared sauna." And you got the husband or the man go, "No, I like the old traditional hot rock. I got to get it as hot as possible." And yeah, that's cool. There's benefits mentally to struggle in a hot environment, the stress, it helps. But they don't understand that you sweat buckets in an good infrared sauna, and that it does become mentally, it's difficult to stay in there after a while. So I'll take people and I'll be like, "Okay, you don't think you're going to sweat in an infrared sauna? Come over here, go in this one." And they're like, "Whoa, I haven't been in an infrared sauna like that." Or I'll be like, "Well, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't want infrared." Okay, you don't want infrared. Have you used the infrared sauna? No. Well, what do you know about infrared sauna? You don't know anything about it. If you don't use it, what do you know?
And that's where I was just down in Iowa, and this guy, he ran in the Ironman out in Belgium, just ran in another one down here, and he was looking at getting a sauna. He was like, we're thinking traditional. And I was like, same, literally the exact conversation that you just had, I had about a week ago with a customer. And he was like, "I was in the sauna this morning at Lifetime. I like that high heat." And I'm like, "You're going to love our hybrid series then. Hottest sauna out there." And he's like, "I don't know. The wife really wants the infrared." I have him sit in it. I'm like, "Sit in this for 2 minutes. If you aren't sweating when you come out, then we can go from there." Obviously, he comes out dripping sweat. And the one thing he said is, he's like, "I couldn't stop sweating." Yep. And that's because and then we were sitting down at the table and we were talking how
it goes deeper into your body.
Right. It's raising that core temperature. It's putting your body in that natural recovery mode. And that's what I don't feel. And he wasn't feeling that this morning when he hopped out of the Lifetime sauna.
Yep. So and then sometimes I'll be like, "Okay, well, have you used a good infrared sauna?" And they'll be like, "Well, I've used the infrared sauna. I don't know if it's good or not." "Well, what brand did you use?" So I don't know, and they'll use a $2,000 sauna from a big box store like Home Depot, Costco, places like that. And of course you don't like it. It doesn't have any heaters in it, or the heaters are the weakest heaters in the market. So they just don't build them well.
Right.
So in a good infrared sauna, you will sweat buckets. You will rain sweat off your body, and the more you sweat, the better you're going to feel.
And with traveling, I mean, like you said, you'll go use infrared saunas across the country at the kind of subscription membership places.
Wellness centers, tanning salons. I mean, if there's a way to find a sauna, I know how to do that.
Yes, I would agree. I mean, but when you're going and using them at the public places, it's just, for me at least, totally different than when you're using it in your own home. You're still getting that deep sweat going, but having it in the comfort of your own home you're just a lot more likely to use it than have to make
Well,
that
yeah,
trip
you don't
out
have to
there.
drive there. You don't have to drive back. You don't have to pay $200 a month to use it unlimited if you're in stuff like that. And when you have it in the comfort of your home, you're going to use it more. The more you use it, the better benefits you get. Yeah, so a lot of times people will ask me, where do I put this? So infrared sauna, number one, you want inside the house. I don't care what anybody tells you. Yeah, you could probably get away with it down south, Florida Keys, maybe if it's protected from the weather element, because it's as long as it stays hot. But number one, 99.9% of people that are listening to this, it should be inside your home. Basements are a very popular place, bedrooms, family rooms, offices. At the end of the day, just find a place to put it, because once you start using it, you're going to wish you had it years ago, and you're going to use it for the rest of your life.
And a lot of times we have people who want one, but they're like, I don't know, I'm moving. I mean, how many times have you moved yours?
I've moved mine sauna twice. I'm on my third house with my same sauna, and it's the first thing I moved every time I move. It's the most essential piece of apparatus I own. So when it's all said and done, it will be me, my clothes, and my sauna. So
I mean, you don't need much more than that.
No.
And he really doesn't. That's the crazy part.
So, yeah, I mean, spare bedrooms, office, family rooms, is all you need is the outlet to plug it into. There's no venting, there's no drains, there's no filters, there's no water lines. It's literally just a freestanding unit that you plug into an outlet. And there's models that plug into a regular outlet, 110 volt, 15 amp. Then there's other models that plug into 110 volt, 20 amp outlet. So, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. And it's maintenance free too. So you just want to keep it clean like anything. What kind of cleaning tips do you have for them, Nick?
So cleaning, that's minimal to none. As long as you're putting towels down on the bench, towel on the floor heater, about half of it, just so any of the sweat, when it's dripping on your calves, onto your heels, gets onto that towel. Any of the sweat dripping off your chin or elbows, as long as it's getting absorbed by those towels, and then you take the damp towels out when you're done, that's pretty much all the maintenance. If you do want to wipe down the wood or anything, we recommend 3 parts water, 1 part apple cider vinegar, or any natural-based cleaning solution. So anything you wouldn't put on your skin, you really don't want to put on the inside of the sauna.
You don't want to put chemicals in there because you're using it to get chemicals out of your body.
100%.
And the more of that stuff we can get out of our body that's not supposed to be in our body, the better we feel, the better our health is. So I have Nick Psicihulis on, good friend of mine, and I want to thank you for coming on the Sweat Fanatic Show.
It was a pleasure to be here. Hopefully we can get some more episodes and some great guests on.
Oh, yeah, you're my go-to guy. So.
There we go.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you on the next episode.